I'm going to switch to our PowerPoint. So today we'll be talking about Teams meeting. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Jennifer Jury. I was a classroom teacher for over 10 years before becoming a Microsoft Learning Consultant. Here is my email, my Twitter handle, and my LinkedIn information. Please feel free to reach out to me with any questions after today's presentation. I have put the meeting link, this PowerPoint presentation in the chat, and I've also added some resources in there for you. So you are welcome to have access to all of that. And like I said, please reach out with any questions. On Twitter, I like to post a lot about the newest things that are coming out for Microsoft. We are adding stuff all the time. So today's agenda, we're going to be talking about how to access Team Meets. We're going to look at launching it from office.com, the features of a team meeting, attendance reports, permissions, recording a team meet, scheduling a team meet, and then we'll take some questions and answers. I'm going to bounce back to our meeting for a second. I just want to point out that here we are recording. You can see the time up at the top. So I just want to make sure for anybody that just joined that they know that. Here is the chat feature. So you can press this and you can put your questions over here in chat as you have them for today. I'll go back to our presentation. Oh, maybe not. Give me 1 second. I did not set this meeting up, so I apologize that this got put on as a lobby feature. It is something that only the organizer can change, and I am listed as a presenter. So I appreciate your patience with that, and we will do the best throughout our presentation. So thank you. I'm going to shut off my camera just to conserve a little bandwidth and make it go a little smoother for us. So back to our PowerPoint presentation, Teams has put out so many different new features lately. So one of the features that they have put out is they're constantly improving the whiteboard. It keeps getting better and better. In Whiteboard, you are going to have the most amount of features in the desktop version, but the version that gets launched during your team meet is getting better and better. So recently what they've added is faster load times, sticky notes, you can add text, and you have drag and drop capabilities. So what that allows is if you do not have a touch screen, then you can still access everything from using your mouse. So you don't necessarily have to have a touch screen to allow that. So that is great for accessibility across different devices. In here we have Microsoft Teams attendance reports. So I will show you where this is in a minute within the team, but this report can be downloaded as an Excel file. And when we download it, it is under the people function, and you will see this download arrow here. It creates an Excel file, and it will give a log of the person's name, the time they entered the meeting, and the time they exited the meeting. So that's a new feature that's coming out if it's not already in your tenant. I just want to let you know the tenant that I'm presenting in today, as part of Microsoft, we are like guinea pigs in our tenant, and they roll everything out to us first to troubleshoot it and to give feedback. So I do have access to a bunch of these features today, so you may see them in my tenant, and then you might be asking, why don't I see them? There's two reasons. Number one, it may not have been rolled out to you yet. They roll it out a little bit at a time. And then number two, you can always check with your district and see what their permissions are. Every district has different permissions for what they allow. So if you're something that you're not seeing that may have been rolled out, check with your district and the IT department. So this is a new feature coming up this fall that's really fun and exciting. I think the students are going to love this. I just think it'd even make a business meeting fun. Check this out.
Microsoft Teams is the hub for teamwork in Microsoft 365. It's one place where people can chat, share files, and work together. But now that video conferences are the new normal, there are times when people need to feel like they're in the same room. That's when you can turn on Together Mode. It puts your team in one shared space. Microsoft AI helps break down barriers, letting you communicate more naturally and feel more connected to your team. It works for coffee breaks, team meetings, or your next all hands. So from everyday get-togethers to important meetings, be together even when you're apart.
So that's something I think will be a lot of fun. Today, these updates notices were just released. Mike Tholson works for Microsoft, and he put out this information today. I wanted to share it with you. We just looked at Together Mode. That's expected in August. Dynamic view will give the organizer more control over how they view their screen. They can present their content while still viewing some participants or attendees. So what it allows you to do is to share your screen but still have view of a couple people. Up here too, large gallery view where it's that 7x7, that's expected in August for everyone. So this is part of the PowerPoint. You have access to that. So I will just know it's there as a reference for you. The attendance report will be showing up in early September. So let's take a look at where we're going to locate everything and launch things from. My suggestion is to always go to office.com. It doesn't matter what your device on, whether you've downloaded the desktop version or not, you can always reach everything through office.com. So that's where I'm going to go next. So if I go to office.com, I can launch my Teams from here. So what I'm going to do is go back to the meeting and I'm going to present the rest of this in our meeting. So I'm going to close this out and I want to just show you around the meeting. For example, up here we have our record. That record, this doesn't show you the time that the meeting is recording. This shows you when I logged in. So as the first person showing up, it started that clock. Over here, it shows your participants. Now, if I had access as an organizer, you would see that attendance report here and where I could give permissions. I'm going to show you how we can access all of that in a different way in a minute so that I can demonstrate that for you. Here is our chat. And we can see who's attended the meeting. You can see if you scroll up, here's the PowerPoint presentation and some resources that I put in here for you. Now the chat can be a powerful tool for your meetings. I like to extend the format box. It gives me some more options. Now, when I've worked with other school districts, they've seen some differences in what they have available. So do the best you can with your tools, but for the most part, it should look the same. So here you can type a message, welcome. And it will, if I press the little flag here, it will go out to everyone. If I want to mark something as urgent, I have a couple delivery options. I can put this as important or urgent just to give a little more emphasis to something. I can attach files. I have emoji options. I have GIFs, which those can be a lot of fun. We'll admit that person. And then you have stickers. Kids really get a lot, think these are so much fun. So there's so many here for you. Check it out, see what's available. You have a lot of options. If you, what I want to do now is look at opening this up from Teams. So I'm going to go back to that office.com. I'm going to go into launching this from Teams. Again, feel free to use that chat if you have any questions throughout this. So the best way to launch your meetings is through your calendar. And you can see here, this is the meeting that we're in currently. If I want to create a new meeting, I come over here and I want to schedule a new meeting. So I'm going to add a title to it. I could add whoever I want to attend the meeting. And then in here you have options. So you can add additional people, even if they're outside your organization, that will work. I'm going to actually, and then you can set your day and time. Does the meeting repeat? I'm going to close this right now. I want to show you what a meet now would look like. So here is if you wanted to meet immediately with someone, you would have this option to launch and join your meeting. So I'm going to close that. That's another way to launch a meeting. I'm going to just check our chat, and I think there was someone posted something. Can we disable chat for students? There is, through administration, they can disable that for you. Yes. I want to show you how to get to permissions, and then in permissions, you can, I'm going to stop for a second because I really want to answer that question because I know there's a lot of turn chat off for students. In this OneNote I have given you, it has the step-by-step directions to do that. So I know that's a question for a lot of people. So you can go in here, navigate, but it's in the admin portal. So that's where you're going to need that admin assistance. If you have admin rights, then you're all set. But there are those directions in the notebook, and the link is up here at the top, Microsoft Information and Resources. Let me go back to our to our team. So if we're going to schedule a team, I have that here, and you can change response options to how people set up. So let's just say we're going to set up a demo meeting, and I want to set up that meeting for, I'm going to add one of my counterparts that I work with, and we're going to set that up. You have scheduling assistant, you have some other options here. You can, so then they can join the meeting or not, and you can move from there. I'm going to bounce back. I see another question in the chat. Oh, hang on. I'm going to discard that, and I'll go back to our chat real quick. So would that happen to all meetings or only for that teacher? That's where you have to go in with the settings and see how your district can help you with that options. They may have a few more controls, but that's a good discussion for your IT department. I know that doesn't give you a great answer, but some of these things are really set at district levels. What I'm trying to get to show you, and for whatever reason I'm struggling with it today, and I think it's because I'm set up as a presenter and not as as a organizer of this meeting. If I go into permissions, and when you go into permissions, you have a couple options. You can set up the lobby, and I'm going to see if I can pull it up for you in a different way. Manage. Okay, let me see if I apologize. I wasn't expecting to not have those rights in this meeting. So you have options to allow all of the attendees can be listed as students. So there's different layers of permissions in a meeting. Organizers have the most permissions. They can hard mute, which as a presenter, I can do that too. Within people, you can see here, We have muted everyone. I'm here listed as a presenter. You all are listed as attendees. I can also invite someone. Here is a link to today's meeting. But in there, so a presenter can also control who enters or leaves the meeting. As you can see, I have been able to admit people. If someone tried to enter the meeting, instead of clicking the check mark, I would click the X, and it would mean they were not allowed into the meeting. And so presenters have similar rights like that, but attendees have the most limited rights. So if I were an organizer, up here next to the download of attendance, I'm going to go back to that PowerPoint and show you where that is. Here, this check mark and X is where the attendance is. And what you would do is click on that, and then it would let you, do you want a lobby? Who can bypass the lobby? You can say everyone can. You can have the option to have it ding when someone enters and someone leaves. Some people that have been in the meeting for a while may have heard those. You can also set the permissions for who has rights to present. You can present that if you're the organizer, that you're the only person that can present, or you can have it to say that specific people can present. And those permissions can really help give control to the meeting and really avoid some disruptive behaviors if needed. As your students become better with digital citizenship and you want to relax the permissions, you totally can do that. But just so you know, the permissions can be accessed here with that check and the X. And they can be changed for each meeting too. They can also be set up ahead of time when you're organizing that meeting. So let's go back into our presentation here. I see we have some more questions about that. Would all that happen? Okay, so we talked about the chat. So would that happen for all teachers? No worries. Okay, great. So I want to talk about the hand raising feature too. So we talked about people and participants, the attendance report, permissions. We talked about the chat features, raising hands. This is such a cool feature. And can I ask Natalie if you would raise your hand? Wait, I'm going to show you some. Let me go into our people, and we have people raised. You don't see Natalie on the list. She got bumped to the top when she raised her hand. So what it does, thank you, Natalie, I appreciate that. So what it'll do is it will bump whoever raises their hand to the top of the list. So you can see in order of who raised their hand. As a presenter, yeah, please feel free to try it and watch your name pop up to the top. Attendee can take their name off, or raise their hand or lower their hand. A presenter or an organizer can also lower someone's hand. So it's a really fun feature, and I love that you have that order of who raised their hand. It gives a little bit of fairness to some of the, to this, where it may be hard to see everybody, especially if you're working in a 7x7 or a larger format. So if for here, I can look at this, I can lower their hand, I can pin, I can make them a presenter, or I can remove the participant. So that's where, as a presenter, those rights are showing up. Attendees would not. If you go to click on someone else's name, you can even try it right now, you're not going to have those options. Then over here is where you get all your device settings. I want to point out, meeting notes are not a personal place to take notes. Any meeting notes that get written in there are available and can be viewed by everyone. So just be aware of that. It's a public. Here is that gallery view. So we're seeing everyone in the gallery view. I do have together mode. If you all did, raise your hand if you want to try together mode and come off, and we'll try and do that if anyone wants to take their video and show it. I'll put together mode on. Anybody? All right, I'm going to put in together mode and let's see if anybody will join me. I got to take my own camera off. Hi, thanks for joining. There we are. And so it starts to adjust as more people join in. And it's just sometimes gives it a little fun way to present and have the kids join in. And even ourselves as an adult, you almost start smiling when you start seeing everybody on the screen and your peers. It adds a little something to the presentation. So it's just something fun. Check it out. Try those as they start rolling out. Thank you so much for doing this with me today. I love when people will come on and do this. It's a lot of fun. So thank you. So that, just to point out again, that's located here and you're together, and it's under right now the preview for me. So it should be rolling out to everybody shortly. All right, I'm going to be boring and go back to gallery now. Keep moving on. But just know that's where you're going to find those options. Your backgrounds are going to be here. And one of the neat things that they're doing with backgrounds right now is if you choose a background, every time that you log in, whether it's a meeting 2 hours later, it's going to still have that same background available. And I have to tell you, they have some really fun backgrounds. I was using this one today, and right now I have no background chosen because my camera's off. And then they get kind of fun. You have a classroom one, Minecraft, and then for our sci-fi friends, you can tell all the computer geeks that they design these, put a little fun in there. I'm going to bounce back to the presentation. I'm going to show you to the PowerPoint. I'm going to show you 2 different places where you can find those. So here, when you're first logging in, you see this little grayed out square. It's because I have the camera off. If I had the camera on, so you see here, it's purple, that is no longer grayed out, and I can pick my screen background, play with that, and then join the meeting. If you forget to do it or change your mind that you want to do it, when you're in the meeting, you can change your backgrounds here and get them from there. I'm going to just make sure our chat box. Okay, what is the real function? So I think that is for you to not get incoming video. So if someone is, I will get a better answer for you. That I have had a hard time finding an answer for myself on that one, and I don't want to say the wrong thing. So turning off incoming video, I think it's for when you are getting incoming calls. I'm going to show you a nice little trick down here for that too. If you are working in Windows, if you look here, it's called Focus Assist. If you don't want all of these dings going off for alarms, you can also stop them this way. So if you click Focus Assist, it goes to priority or alarms only. So that is what I think that is for. I have never been able to find a terrific answer for that. In fact, I've thought of asking my Microsoft specialist technical guy. So let me see if I can get an answer, and I'll get that posted in our chat later. Thank you for asking that. It's a great question. So I just want to make sure we went through all these features. If you needed closed captioning, they're also available here. And then this is your stop recording. Camera, your microphone, this is your presentation, and this is for leaving. Now, if I was the organizer, I would have an option here to end the meeting for everyone. And if when I leave, this is just me leaving, the meeting can continue. So as a teacher, you want to make sure that you shut off that hard stop for everybody before you move on. I want to just check here. I see 2 participants. Oh, it's just our raising of the hands. I need to lower my own hand. So that's the other thing too. When those hands are raised, you get, thank you. And I got to do it myself. I got to stop raising my hand. So when, oh, I just did click too quickly. So you see too. So not only does that person get raised to the top, but you'll get a little notice over here that someone, you know, if there's something going on in the meeting that you need to address as the speaker or organizer. So I want to address one more thing as far as presenting and sharing. How I'm sharing with you today is I'm sharing my full desktop. I like presenting in that format because I still have access to everything down here, and I can bounce from a website back to our PowerPoint presentation and not have to really go any further and stop sharing or anything like that. I do want to give a little workaround, a couple suggestions for things. If you want to present whiteboard and you want to be the one that's showing it, and you don't want to do the one that I showed you in the PowerPoint presentation. So in the presentation, I showed you this one. And that everybody can collaborate on it. What it does is it launches a whiteboard that everyone in the team, it launches an individual whiteboard for every attendee. And then you all can collaborate on it in real time. Well, that may not be something you want to do. You may just want to present without having the students collaborate on it. That's where sharing your desktop the way that I am is a great workaround right now. They're actually rolling out how to, a more permanent fix on that and more controls. But in the meantime, I would use the share my desktop, and then I would go from office.com, launch whiteboard, and then I could present in whiteboard. I could even share it afterwards with everyone, but they would not be able to write on it. So that's a workaround if you need that extra level of control. Now, even in here, you do have settings where you can put it and share, like when you share it with people, you can even share this and it can be view only. So you have those couple options, but sharing that whole desktop, I think, is a really great way to present and still have access to all of your materials. I want to show you next how to add a Microsoft form into your meetings. And I'm going to show you how we can not only show it, but then we can present the results real time. So I've created a little question for y'all. I'm going to share it with you. So anyone with the link can respond. So I've got to be careful how I'm choosing that. If you only want people in your organization to respond, click that. But because we have such a wide audience today, I want to make sure it's on anyone. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go back to our chat, and I'm going to pull up our chat feature, and I am going to post that here. And if you would click on the link and just answer that question, I'm going to go back here and I'm going to go back to our, I'm going to refresh this, and we're going to see our responses, and they're going to come in real time. And we'll see them get loaded as more people take that quiz. So we've got 6 responses right now, 7. And so if it's something that you want to have interactive with your kids, again, that sharing your desktop makes for a really great feature. So you can review the results, you can discuss and talk about it, and they can see that be activated in real time. Thanks for me. You guys have been awesome participants today. You get it like gold stars. I appreciate it. I just want to make sure I've covered everything I want to today with y'all. Let me go over. Got 12 people. You guys are great. Thank you so much. What was our end result here? Okay, it looks like the beach is winning out, and mountains and exploring a city came in second, and then mountains was next. Very nice. I bet a bunch of us are right now doing staycations with everything going on in our world. So very cool. Thank you. Last thing I want to show you is we have a couple things for you. So we talked about our attendance report. We've gone through all that. I'm just kind of skipping here. Oh, hang on, that jumped to the video and off my presentation. I'll go back to our PowerPoint, okay? So be aware here on what else got launched today. It's a lot of updates with Teams, things going on, other resources, but everything is very team centered. So again, office.com, best way. Today is, if you have not joined the Microsoft Education Center, it is free to educators. There are so many amazing resources there. If you do belong, here is the achievement code for today. So I didn't mean to do that. So you can use this achievement code to go on there. Let me show you what it looks like for those of you that have not been on the Microsoft Education Center. See, again, I just clicked that link, and because I'm showing my entire desktop, it bounced right there without me having to do anything. Once you join, all you have to do is set up a little profile. Again, this is all free. You do your under your profile, you'll see redeem achievement code. From there, you can start earning badges. Once you do 2 hours of coursework, you are certified with the Microsoft Innovative Educator. Let me show you what that looks like down here. So after 2 hours of coursework, today would be considered 1 hour, even though we probably will finish a little early. You will get this automatically. You won't have to do anything for that to be added. So I am going to go back. I see some questions. And then just to know too, here are tons of different resources for you. These are all active links that you can access through the PowerPoint presentation. So let me go here. Could I share the link presentation again? Absolutely. And how can you post the link in the chat? I will do that right now. So here's today's PowerPoint presentation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you another little presenter trick. I'm in reading view. So I don't go into full presentation mode. I just stay in reading view, and that gives me that nice big screen. So I'm going to actually do two things. I'm going to go down to our last screen here. I'm going to pull out the code. I'm going to copy that, and I'm going to put that in the chat. So that's easy for you all, and you can just take that code and enter it, and you won't have to try and type that out. And then I'm going to go back to the presentation. I'm going to go to share. And then when I go to share, you know, you guys have been wonderful, but we're not going to let you edit. So I'm going to make sure when you're sharing, be very aware of that you take that editing off. So now I have anyone with the link can view. I'm going to copy that link. I like to always double copy. It makes me feel better. And I'm going to throw that in here. So now you have a link to that. All right. Please post your questions. Let me know how I can help you. Microsoft Teams is a great resource, and there's so many fun things that I really play with it. I'll give you a little tip that I do too. You're getting all my secrets today. I actually set up a private one for myself up here in practice. So I made my own practice, and you can see how many times I've gone back in over it. I've practiced putting polls in it. One of the things that's really awesome about Microsoft is you're not going to break it. So go in, like today, after we get done, the recording will show up in that chat. So here's the chat for it. Here's the meeting notes. So I was practicing with Planner in here. So before you even meet with your students, try some things, and you can set up a little practice one. That's always a great way to check things out. Is there any questions or things I can help you with today? I will stay on for a few minutes and just know that I'm available here, and know that too, I'm going to post my email. Please do not hesitate to reach out. That is what we are here for. I appreciate you guys coming out today. I know it's late for me. It's, that 4 or 5 o'clock hour. I know we have people from all over, so I appreciate you taking time out of your day and spending it with us. If it's easier for you to come off microphone and ask your question, I'm comfortable with that too. All right, I will stop recording, but I will stay